Welcome to Origins of Nation, where we uncover the hidden legends and forgotten stories that shaped the birth of civilizations. Long before modern borders were drawn, long before the nations we know today even had names, there were myths, epic tales of gods, kings, and heroes who claimed to have founded the very first societies. Were these stories pure imagination, the fanciful dreams of ancient storytellers? Or were they echoes of real events, fragmented memories passed down through countless generations? Tonight, we embark on a journey across the world, from the desert sands to the frozen north, exploring the legends that built our world. We'll travel back to the mighty pharaohs of Egypt, listen to the wisdom of Mesopotamia, and stand in awe of the mythic heroes of Greece, China, and beyond. This is the story of humanity's beginnings, a time when history and legend intertwine so tightly, they become one. Are you ready to discover the truth behind the myths? Our story begins where civilization itself was born. In Mesopotamia, the fertile land nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Here, some of the world's earliest city-states rose from the dust, creating laws, writing, and incredible feats of engineering. But their kings were not remembered as mere mortals. The Sumerian legends tell of Gilgamesh, the great king of Uruk, a figure of immense power, said to be 2/3 god and 1/3 man. His epic journey to find the secret of immortality, filled with monsters, gods, and profound questions about life and death, became one of the world's first great literary works. It was a story so powerful it influenced myths across the ancient world for centuries to come. Then came Sargon of Akkad. History tells us he was a real king who forged one of the world's first empires. But legend tells a more dramatic tale. It's said he was born in secrecy, placed in a basket of reeds, and cast into a river, much like the story of Moses. Rescued and raised by a gardener, he rose from humble origins to conquer all of Mesopotamia. Was Sargon just a brilliant military strategist and administrator? Or did his myth, this story of divine favor and improbable destiny, ensure that his rule would be accepted and his empire would last far beyond his own lifetime? These legends from the cradle of civilization remind us of a powerful truth. The first nations were built not only on stone and law, but on story and belief. From the riverbanks of Mesopotamia, we travel west to the sands of Egypt, where the line between legend and reality blurred completely. In the land of the Nile, pharaohs were not just rulers, they were gods on earth, living incarnations of Horus, the falcon-headed god. Narmer, the king credited with first uniting the two lands of Upper and Lower Egypt, became a legendary figure. His victory was immortalized on the Narmer palette, a carved stone slate that depicts him as a divine conqueror, smiting his enemies with the god's approval. His deeds echoed for millennia, establishing the foundation of a unified Egyptian identity that would last for 3,000 years. Then came the age of pyramids. Khufu, builder of the Great Pyramid of Giza, created a monument so immense and mysterious that it continues to baffle engineers and inspire awe today. But was it just a tomb? For the Egyptians, it was far more. It was a resurrection machine, a gateway to the stars. They believed their kings ruled by divine right, guided by a pantheon of powerful gods like Ra, the sun god, and Osiris, the lord of the underworld. When the pharaohs died, their spirits were said to ascend to the heavens, joining the gods and ensuring the kingdom's eternal survival and prosperity. To truly understand ancient Egypt is to understand that a nation is not just a political entity. Sometimes, it is a spiritual one, built on a shared faith in the divine order of the universe. Now we journey east, to another great civilization that thrived along the banks of a mighty river, the Indus Valley. Yet, unlike Egypt or Mesopotamia, its legends are almost completely lost to time. We see the breathtaking ruins of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, with their meticulously planned streets, advanced drainage systems, and massive granaries. But we don't know the names of the kings who built them. Their script, found on thousands of small stone seals, remains undeciphered, a silent testament to a forgotten world. But the fragments they left behind suggest a culture of deep spirituality. The seals depict figures that some scholars believe are early forms of Hindu gods like Shiva, sitting in meditative poses. They show a reverence for animals, especially the bull, and a worship of sacred trees and symbols. What legends did these people tell as they built these vast, organized cities? What myths guided their rulers and united their society? Though their voices are silent, the ruins whisper of a forgotten legacy, a powerful civilization that shaped the deep cultural and spiritual roots of the Indian subcontinent. In ancient China, the right to rule was not just a matter of bloodline or military might. It was granted by a higher power. This was the mandate of heaven. If a king and his dynasty ruled with justice, wisdom, and virtue, heaven would bless the land with peace and prosperity. But if a ruler became corrupt, cruel, or incompetent, heaven would withdraw its favor, signaling its displeasure with floods, famines, and earthquakes. This loss of the mandate was a justification for rebellion, allowing a new dynasty to rise and take its place. This powerful political and religious doctrine shaped Chinese history for thousands of years. Legend speaks of the Yellow Emperor, Huangdi, as the ultimate progenitor of Chinese civilization. Part god, part man, he was not just a ruler, but an inventor, credited with creating medicine, writing, governance, and even the calendar. Later dynasties, from the Shang to the Zhou, would trace their lineage back to him, using this mythical connection to legitimize their own claim to the mandate of heaven. This shows us that in the foundation of China, myth was just as important as historical fact in establishing legitimacy and creating a continuous cultural identity. Through this unique system, where legend justified power and power had to be earned through just rule, Chinese civilization endured for millennia, guided by both the lessons of history and the power of myth. Now we sail to the shores of Greece, a land that gave the world democracy, philosophy, and epic legends that still echo in our culture today. The very cities themselves were born from myth. Athens, the cradle of democracy, claimed that the goddess Athena herself had competed with Poseidon and won the right to be their patron, gifting them the olive tree as a symbol of peace and prosperity. The fierce warriors of Sparta trace their origins back to the heroic age, believing their laws were handed down from mythical legislators. And towering above them all were Homer's epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey. These tales of the Trojan War and the long journey home of Odysseus were more than just entertainment. They were the moral and cultural bedrock of the Greek world. In these stories, gods walked among men, meddling in their affairs, while heroes like the invincible Achilles and the cunning Odysseus shaped the Greek understanding of honor, glory, and fate. Though they were myths, these stories guided real-world politics, inspired actual wars, and created a shared identity that bound the fiercely independent Greek city-states together, making them feel part of a single, heroic civilization. The story of Rome's greatness begins not with historical records, but with a powerful and enduring legend. According to the myth, the city was founded by the twin brothers Romulus and Remus, who were abandoned as infants and miraculously suckled and raised by a she-wolf. This story of divine protection and wild, untamed strength became a core part of the Roman identity. But they didn't stop there. The Romans, eager to connect their origins to the glorious traditions of the Greeks, claimed descent from Aeneas, a Trojan hero who escaped the fall of Troy, and, after a long and arduous journey, settled in Italy. This epic saga, famously told in Virgil's Aeneid, gave the Romans a sense of destiny, tying them directly to the heroic age. From these legendary beginnings, Rome built an empire that stretched across continents. Their mythology gave them a divine purpose. Their legendary discipline gave them unstoppable power. And together, they forged one of the most enduring and influential nations in all of history. Beyond the well-known stories of Egypt, vast and powerful kingdoms rose and fell across the African continent, each with their own rich tapestry of legends. South of Egypt, the kingdom of Kush was a formidable rival and, for a time, its conqueror. The Kushite kings, known as the Black Pharaohs, built their own pyramids in the deserts of modern-day Sudan, creating their own distinct but related mythology of divine kingship. In West Africa, the Mali Empire became legendary for its immense wealth. Its ruler, Mansa Musa, is still remembered as possibly the richest person in history. His pilgrimage to Mecca in the 14th century was a spectacle of unparalleled opulence, with a caravan of thousands of soldiers and camels laden with gold. The stories of his generosity became legends that reached Europe, putting his kingdom on the map. Further south, the enigmatic ruins of Great Zimbabwe, a massive stone city, stood for centuries, inspiring myths among later explorers of a lost city of gold, a testament to a powerful, forgotten African monarchy. These stories remind us that Africa's history is filled with great nations, built on their own unique fusion of legendary power and historical reality. Across the Atlantic, great civilizations rose in the Americas, their societies built upon their own powerful and unique founding myths. The Maya, in the jungles of Central America, told creation stories of gods who shaped humanity from maize, the sacred crop that sustained them. Their complex calendar and hieroglyphic writing recorded the deeds of divine kings who acted as conduits between the earthly and spiritual realms. Further north, the Aztecs believed their empire was chosen by their patron god, Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun and war. Legend told them to build their capital city, Tenochtitlan, where they saw an eagle perched on a cactus, a symbol that endures today on the flag of Mexico. This divine mandate fueled their empire through ritual and conquest. High in the Andes Mountains, the Inca spoke of a great creator god, Viracocha, and believed their emperors were the literal sons of the sun god, Inti. These myths bound their people together across vast territories, justifying their imperial rule and inspiring the construction of monumental cities like Machu Picchu that still awe us with their engineering and beauty. In the cold, harsh landscapes of the north, the Vikings told stories of a different kind of world. Their myths were filled with rugged gods like Odin, the All-Father who sacrificed his eye for wisdom, and Thor, the mighty god of thunder. They spoke of Yggdrasil, the world tree, and the inevitable doom of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. But these legends were more than just fireside stories to pass the long winter nights. They were guiding principles for a life of exploration, conquest, and trade. The Icelandic sagas, a unique blend of history and legend, chronicled the lives of real heroes who crossed treacherous seas to discover and settle new lands, from Iceland and Greenland all the way to North America, centuries before Columbus. These myths, fierce, fatalistic, and unyielding, built nations of warriors and explorers whose influence stretched from Scandinavia, across Europe, and into the New World. From the fertile crescent of Mesopotamia to the imperial might of Rome, from the divine kings of the Inca to the seafaring Vikings, one thing is clear. Legends have always been at the heart of building nations. They gave kings their divine authority, armies their righteous purpose, and diverse groups of people a shared identity. They answered the fundamental questions. Where do we come from? Why are we here? What is our destiny? Even today, in our modern scientific world, nations continue to tell stories, founding myths of revolution and independence, tales of heroic leaders, and memories of moments of destiny that shape how we see ourselves and our place in the world. The power of story is as vital to a nation as its laws and its borders. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the origins of nation, legends that built our world. If you enjoyed this exploration into the past, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure into the mysteries of history and myth. Remember, legends are not just tales from a forgotten time. They are the very foundations on which our modern world still stands. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep discovering the origins of our world.